So, okay, very good morning to all of you. And yesterday, we have discussed something about algorithms. What is the importance of the algorithm, and how the algorithm is going to be play a role within uh, within the so computer science world, and how the things have been done, and what are the characteristics of algorithm, and what are who was actually termed this particular word in computer science world. Everything has been looked into the matter by on yesterday, and what are the different kinds of complexities and their notations, and how the complexity will be grow in terms of developing any kind of algorithm has been seen. Everything has been seen, and these things have been there with you in our previous class. And now, today, we'd like to concentrate. So, what kind of implementation for logarithmic, linear, polynomial, exponential? Up to only four I have with me, and the fifth one, factorial, is not there. Actually, I told you factorial is not there actually. So, but these four small programs which are very much required to understand how the growth is going to be happen when any algorithm is being implemented by any user, or by any the programmer in real time world. Let us have a look. I am supposed to give you very precise kind of applications to understand very easily. Okay, to understand very easily, I'd like to give you very precise applications. So let us continue today's class. So as far as the point is concerned here, some examples. Okay, some examples to identify the growth of algorithms here. Growth in the sense, so when you have to implement, you have given one particular problem by anyone. That particular problem is going to be taken, and how you have to implement, and what is the particular complexity which is being generated by that particular problem will be gets identified, will be called as the order of growth of this particular complexity here. So that is the basic idea regarding to this particular code what I have given on this particular slide. And let us discuss the first one, very important one, logarithmic. So how the logarithmic will be? So logarithmic in the sense log base 2. Normally in computer science, so every operation, whatever the operation you may be written by using a high level language in so decimal point of view only. But in terms of execution, in terms of storage, in terms of so operations, everything will be done so by so binary format only. So that is why I'd like to consider everything in terms of binary format only. That binary format will be so log base 2. Could be considered as log base 2. Base 2 in the sense, obviously, it is in binary form. And n will be number of inputs. Probably that might be number of records, number of intents, or number of elements, or number, whatever it may be. You could consider whatever the specification it might be. So for this one, how you can implement when a problem can be given to you. So when a problem can be given to you, you do understand whether it could be comes under logarithmic or polynomial or any other kind of growth will be taken into consideration. Let us take the statement here. The statement is so find the number of bits required when we are trying to convert a decimal number to its binary equivalent. Okay, so if you want to convert this particular decimal number to binary, how many number of bits are required? For example, if you take into consideration of n will be equal to 7, so 0 to 7 you may require so 3 bits. Similarly, up to 15 you may require 4 bits. Up to 31 you may require 5 bits. Up to 63, 0 to 63, if you want to convert that number, you may be required so 6 bits. In similar way, if you give given one particular number, whatever the number it might be, so if you are supposed to give in one particular number, so how many number of bits will be required? Only requisition. How many number of bits will be required by conversion of decimal to binary? We'd like to take into consideration of that one only. So let us take, so here, number of bits will be the problem, function of n, and the count will be equal to 1. Let me take you one particular consideration. This is the total. So total consideration of this particular problem here. If the problem will be seen in such a way, then that will be considered logarithmic. Let me give you how this could be considered as logarithmic. Before going to take that one, if you consider this particular function, so this particular area is called as so phase 1. So this is called as phase 1. And from here to here, so phase 2. And this could be phase number 3. Okay, phase 2 and phase number 3. Why we have taken into these three in the sense? So to execute this particular statement, it will be taken 1 unit of time, 1 unit of time. And to execute this one also 1 unit of time. So it's also taken just 1 unit of time. Whereas if you consider, if you consider, so this particular area from here to here, so it would be taken based on the n. Whatever the value you can take in here as input for this particular problem. So based on that particular problem's input or magnitude of this particular problem's input, so it could be evaluated. Then how it is going to evaluate? So let us take, this is my number. This is the magnitude of my number here. So a number will be always starts with so 1, and probably that might be some n. This is the magnitude. As far as this particular problem, so actually here it is 0. Sorry, this is 0. Actually, it is not 1. It is 0. So in the first time, so I'd like to consider n equal to n divided by 2. What does it mean? As far as many programming languages, so n equal to n divided by 2 in the sense, if n is an integer, so integer divided by integer will always equal to integer. There must not be a float. For example, so 5 is an integer divided by 2. So both will be integers. So you could get the answer as integer. It could not be 2.5. It is only 2. Okay, that's what you need to remember. So n divided by 2 in the sense, so this particular problem will be, or this magnitude will be exactly divided into 50% in this particular so situation. Exactly divided into, so 50% here. So this is n by 2. And then after some time, so after taking one more iteration, it could be divided into n by 4. So it could be divided into, so n by 8. It could be divided into, and so on and so forth. And if you consider by 2, by 4, by 8, so probably n will be some value, whatever the value it might be, n will be some value divided by this particular value in terms of writing in terms of so 2 powers, n divided by so 2 power k, where it could be taken one equality. So it could be gives you, so n will be equal to 2 power k. Okay. For example, we'd like to consider the value of n will be equal to so 8. So it could be gives you 2 power something will be written something like this, 2 power 3. So 3 number of iterations will be required to be talk something about this one here. So therefore, so this 2 power 3 must be always equal to your actual magnitude what we have taken into consideration by this particular problem. So therefore, when this particular equality will be comes into the picture, well, when this particular equality n equal to 2 power k, where k is one integer which is less than n, which is very much less than n. So if you take such kind of inequality will be extracted by you, evaluated by you, obviously the problem will be gets over. The problem will be gets over here. So let us evaluate this particular problem as far as this particular formula here. So if n will be equal to, let me take some other color, then you could understand very easily. N will be equal to, for example, it is 16. So if you take 16, the magnitude of n will be equal to 16. How many number of bits are required to convert 16 into its equivalent binary? So for the first time, count equal to 0. So count equal to 0 here, and n equal to count plus plus, that could be taken by 1 here. N equal to n divided by 2, in the sense it could be 8. Okay, 2 8s are 16. Then one more time, n is greater than 1, as it is true. So therefore, it could be taken one more bit, and it will be 4. Okay, I am talking about number of bits. Number of bits, in the sense this count will be taken into consideration as this particular k here. So far, 2 bits are required so far, because problem is not yet terminated. And then n is greater than 1, 4 is greater than 1, yes, it is true again. So therefore, count will be gets increased by 1, that is 3, and it will be 2. And again, 2 greater than 1, yes, it is true. So 4. So count plus plus, that is 4, and it is 1. 2 by 2 will be equal to 1. N greater than 1, 1 is greater than 1, which is false, your problem will be terminated. So therefore, n will be taken as the value of n has taken as 16, and how many number of bits are required? Total number of count will be 4. So therefore, if you write this particular value in terms of 2 powers, it must be equal to the value, the magnitude of input has been taken. So n will be equal to, so let me consider 2 power c. So here we have written k. Here we have taken one particular variable as count. So the 2 power count. So that gives you 16 will be equal to 2 power 4. Yes, this equality will be, so okay, I mean it is true. So since it is true, how many number of bits are required? So 4 bits are required to convert your 16 here. Okay, so therefore this problem, if you want to solve this particular problem, you have to apply logarithm on both sides. Logarithm on both sides, you could get this kind of equality. So let me eliminate or delete something here, erase something here. Then I'd like to write the logarithmic operation here. Then you will understand very easily. So look at this. So n will be equal to 2 power k. Apply log base 2 on both sides. Log base 2 n will be equal to log base 2 2 power k. Therefore, k will be equal to, so how you can return k in terms of this equality here in the sense. So k will be equal to log base 2n. Okay, the value which is being written in terms of this particular value as k, how this could be available within this particular area is log base 2 n. If log base 2 n will be taken as k, then you could get so the problem will be get solved. Okay, so in this way you can implement your logarithmic application. Logarithmic application will be gets implemented in this way. So already 16 minutes are gets over. So then followed by, hope that you are you will understand what I'm talk to you just about log base 2. I mean logarithmic kind of application. So when we are doing some kind of exercise with divide and conquer, yes, you could get a clear, very much clear idea about this particular complete logarithmic application. So don't worry. Please go through this particular video one more time, then you could understand very clearly. Unless otherwise, don't worry. We'll come across with so divide and conquer in the next unit. Then it's very easy to understand. Thereby, huge evaluation will be there. So how this 2 n equal to 2 power k will be come across, and how this could be gets evaluated, and what are the premises or what are the different characteristics to be taken into consideration to take n equal to 2 power k. Everything will be discussed in so divide and conquer in the next unit. Don't worry. Then second thing of order of growth will be, second point will be linear, equal to n. For this one, we'll take one particular statement The statement will be, so you have given number of elements. So huge number of elements will be given by you, and these number of elements. So out of these number of elements, you have to identify what is the maximum value. What is the maximum value of a given list of elements? Okay. For this one, so this is the problem here. Here also, this is phase one, and here to here, this is phase two, and this could be the phase three. What does it mean? Phase one and phase three will be taken just 1 unit of time, whereas phase two, right away from the whole for loop, it will be taken. So based on the magnitude of n here. Okay, n will be some 1,000 in the sense 1,000 times the loop will be gets iterated, and n will be equal to, for example, 1 lakh times the loop is going to be iterated right away from this one here. So here the bottleneck or huge time, bottleneck in the sense huge time to be spent with CPU is called as bottleneck in terms of control structures. So this bottleneck will be available with so phase two, and how much time which is being spent by this particular problem will be so considered within the phase two, and will eliminate phase one and phase three here. Okay, taking 1 unit and taking 1 unit is negligible when compared to the magnitude of n here. So therefore, I'd like to eliminate this one here. So here, if you observe this particular problem, so n will be equal to, for example, n will be equal to some 10. N will be equal to 10, and the maximum value has been assigned with a of 0. I mean, elements of 0 index will be taken as the maximum value. And if you observe the condition, how many times this condition is going to be evaluated here is, so it is totally 9 times which is going to be evaluated. So 1 is less than 9, yes, it is true. 2 is less than 9, 10 here, sorry, it is 10. 10 it is true. 3 is less than, so 10 it is true, and so on and so forth. 9 is less than 10 it is true. All these cases it could be considered as true, whereas 10 is less than 10, which is false. So the problem is gets over. Okay, the problem is, I mean, the loop will be comes out, and your problem is gets solved. So therefore, how many times it is going to be evaluated here in the sense? Totally 9 times. Total 9 times the problem is gets evaluated. I mean, loop iteration will be taken. By 10th time, the problem is gets over. So therefore, how many times it is going to execute it? So n times, where n will be equal to some value. So therefore, this will be considered as a linear time, where which is going to evaluate for taking some kind of so accomplishment of your problem. So therefore, it will become similar. So simply speaking, if a single loop, single control structure can be used without a division of your input, single control structure can be used, then such kind of things will be comes under linear. Okay, this will become under linear here. Then the polynomial. Polynomial does have many n square, n cube, n power 4, n power 5, n power 6, and so on and so forth. Many, as much as many. So we'd like to talk about this polynomial up to only so these two, n square and n cube only. Let us have a look. Okay, statement is find number of duplicates in the given list of elements. We have given so 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 7, so 2, 3. These are the number of elements which have been given, and within this particular given list of elements, so I'd like to identify how many number of duplicates. Just a number of duplicates only. Okay, we'd like to identify number of duplicates. So look at this. The problem will be number of duplicates of A. A is an array which is pertaining or which is containing these list of elements here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 7, 2, 3. These are the list of elements. And here, so count will be equal to 0 for I equal to 1 to n. So here also same. Here also the problem will be arises here 3 phases again. This is phase number 1. Count equals 0 is phase number 1. And this is phase number 3. And here, the most of the time to solve this particular problem will be at phase number 2. If you consider any order of growth of complexity kind of algorithms, So it may be 99% of algorithms will be have only three phases. First phase will be initialization. So last phase will be return the values, and second phase will be the actual problem. And here you could consider, so for the value of I, let us take I value equal to, so 0, how the j value is going to be evaluated. J value will be taken I plus 1 to n here. I plus 1 to n here in the sense n minus 1 times. Okay. So then I value equal to 1, it could be taken n minus 2 times. I value equal to 2, so it is n minus 3 times. And so on. I value is n minus 1, it could be, so n into, so sorry, not n into, it is n minus n minus n minus n minus 1 times. N minus 1 times, in the sense these two will be gets cancelled and you could get 1 time. So here when condition will be gets over, then here it could be evaluated for so n square times. If you collect all these n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3 into and so on into 1, so it could be written as n into, so n minus 1, n into n minus 1 here. And if you evaluate this particular thing, n into n square, so minus n. So when compared to n square, n is very negligible value, so that we would like to eliminate this particular value. So therefore, final conclusion will be n square here. Simply speaking, so if you do understand this one or do not understand this one, simply speaking, so control structures will be used for two-level nesting. So this is the first level nesting, and this is outermost loop, and this is innermost loop. Two-level nesting will be taken into consideration. Then you will get so n square as the output. Okay, for example, n will be the input of your magnitude of your problem, then n square will be the output here. So these many iterations will be taken by innermost loop. So maximum time which is being spent by the CPU by innermost loop only, this loop only. So how much time, maximum amount of time which is being spent, so will be the, so final complexity growth. So that is why innermost loop execution time will be the, so final order of evaluation of the specific problem. If problems will be seen in such a way, then they are in terms of n square times. I mean polynomials n square times. I'll come across with n power 3. Okay, n cube time. So that is matrix multiplication. Just before I talk to you, had a talk with you that in polynomial, level of nesting will be 2, n square will be taken. So here it is, oh, I'm sorry, here I did not change the name, just copied. So however, this is actually, so what do you call, matrix multiplication only. So here there is no phase 1 and there is no phase 3. We have only phase 2. So look at this from here to here. So the whole problem will be there, and it will be executed for n times, and it will be executed for n square times. Just before I spoke to you, this will be executed for n cube times. Okay, that could be executed for n cube times. So however, most of the time which is being spent by the CPU at this particular point, most of the time which is being spent by the CPU. So therefore, this particular property will be, I mean, this particular complexity will be n cube on negligence of or on elimination of these two, because in polynomial normally, so if power will be gets increased, obviously the problem size also will gets increased. So therefore, n cube is very much greater than n square, and n cube is very much greater than of this particular n. So therefore, smaller complexities cannot be taken into consideration, and most of the time will be spent with level, I mean control structure usage level 3 will be taken huge amount of time. So therefore, it will be the complexity of this particular problem. And of course, in divide and conquer, we have a particular, actually it is not there with our syllabus, but I would like to discuss with you. We have a particular problem. The problem is Stressen's matrix multiplication. Stressen's matrix multiplication, MM. So he was taken into consideration the matrix multiplication, and he was achieved n power 2.81, rather 2 n cube 2.81 in the sense for every matrix multiplication. So however, whatever the size of that matrix, that is not important for us. So when compared to n cube, n power 2.81 is somewhat lesser value, so that a huge amount of time will be gets saved when we have to execute matrix multiplication using Stressen's matrix multiplication method. So therefore, so 0.19 percentage in the sense it could be for 3 by 3 matrix, 4 by 4 matrix, or 10 by 10 matrix. So it doesn't matter. But 100 by 100 matrix or 1000 by 1000 matrix, if you take such kind of values, then n cube is very greater value when compared to n power 2.81. So this could be studied in unit number 2. No, don't worry. We'd like to, what are the modifications he made in terms of doing the matrix multiplications using divide and conquer method, we'll see. So don't worry about that. So this is what about the polynomial in terms of n cube. Then followed by the last one, 2 power n. Normally, most of the cases, not exactly many cases, most of the cases. So 2 power n will be comes with one particular problem, that is recursion. Already, which is one of the techniques, which is a small technique which is already given by many programming languages. So that is recursion. Using recursion, actually, as far as recursion is concerned, we do have 3 different types of recursions. First one is linear, second one is binary, and third one is tail recursion. If you consider binary recursion, tail recursion, there is no problem. Linear could also not having any problem. But in terms of tail recursion, binary recursion, yes, you could get this kind of so growth of complexity in terms of binary recursion. Okay, not in terms of binary recursion. Okay, what is the importance of binary recursion here in the sense? So the recursive construct will be having 2 recursive calls in one statement or 2 different statements, then that is called as binary. Already I have given in the regular classes. So you please go through that particular notes, then you could understand. So look at this. Look at this. Towers of Hanai. There is a problem. Towers of Hanai. So towers of Hanai will be seen something like this. Let me show you. So there they have given 3 different types of pegs will be given here, and each peg, in the source peg, you have some disk, something like this. All disks are. I'll just wait for a while. Covers of images. Let me take the images, then you could understand. So look at this. Look at the image. So this is the 5th one is very huge enough. So then 4th one is somewhat smaller. 3rd one is very smaller. 2nd one is too smaller, and the 1st one is very much smaller. And you have given, so one moment, please. Yeah, so you can see you have given this particular set of disks on peg number A, and you have to transfer all these disks from peg number A to peg number C. So while transferring this one, yes, you can use peg number B as a temporary. Okay, as a temporary, yes, you can use. Why not 4? I don't know why before closing of this class why he was entered 18 why not 4. However, so before transferring from here to here, so there is a rule. So if you want to transfer from temporary, so any small peg, small disk cannot be placed. So big disk on that small one. So that is the rule actually. The rule has been followed. So if you take that particular rule and can be 557 and 504, okay. So can be taken into consideration and can be transferred from here to here. So this is the actual problem. If you want to transfer this particular disk, so if the number of disks will be equal to one, directly you can transfer. There is no problem at all. Directly you can transfer. Okay. If number of disks will be more than one, then you have to follow this particular rule here. N minus one disks will be taken into consideration, and we have to move from to two by using auxiliary, and here auxiliary will be taken in first and to and from. However, this particular structure will be transfers each and every what do you call this what do you call source disk to source peg to destination peg in terms of this one here. While doing this particular problem, of course, we are not important to discuss about this particular problem. We are discuss what are the specifications to be considered here. So this is actual problem, and in this particular problem, how the solution could be. Solution could be taken. Problem will be solved by repeated submissions. So look at this. This is if n will be equal to 3, for example. So 3 minus 1 and some submission, again 3 minus 1, some submission. So 3 minus 1 in the sense 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1, 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1. Something like this. Repeatedly we have to submit the problem. This repeated submission will be called as recursion. I have given the last one. So if you take the problem will be m, the problem space will be, of course, we have taken here as a TOH. So instead of TOH, I have taken m here. So n number of disks will be taken. So these n number of disks are going to be transferred from one peg to another peg, which is from type peg to two peg. And while doing this particular problem, how you could do, m of n, problem will be divided into, look at this, problem will be divided into, this is one recursive call, first two recursive call. So this is a single statement, only one statement, and this is second recursive call. Okay, second recursive call. Look at this, n minus 1 plus 1 plus n minus 1, m of n minus 1, towers of n of n minus 1, towers of n of n minus 1. In between, we have only one particular statement. In this way, we have taken. So this will be, on conclusion, this could be taken into 2 into m of n minus 1 plus 1. These many number of steps are going to be taken when n will be greater than 1. So this case will be always taken, n will be greater than 1. If n will be equal to 1, yes, a single step only, not more than one step here. That doesn't matter for us. If n is greater than 1, yes, it will be taken. And then followed by, m of 1 will be only one thing. Already I have spoke to you. If n will be equal to 1, if the number of disks will be equal to 1, the problem space will be taken just 1 unit of time. That is just you have to display this particular thing and it comes out from the problem. Okay. Based on this one, the problem will be solved by using specific or special technique in functions, that is recursion. And how the problem will be. Look at this, how the analysis will be. So m of n equal to 2 into m of n minus 1 plus 1. Already we have taken this one here. In this particular area, already we have taken. So the same thing will be written here for n minus 1. M of n will be equal to, number of disks where n will be greater than 1. So these many number of steps are going to be took place. If you have to identify what is the value for m minus 1 also. Okay. So if m minus 1 will be taken, problem space will be n, so that it could be taken as minus 1. Okay. So if it is need to identify the value for n minus 1 also. If you take n minus 1, So 2 into 2m minus 1, this is the whole thing which could be taken if the number of disks will be n minus 2. And it will be taken, if you solve this particular thing, 2 into 2, 2 square plus m of n minus 1 plus 2 plus 1. So 2 into 1, that is 2, this plus 1 here, 2 plus 1. Then followed by 2 square into 2. For m minus 2, m minus 2, we have to solve the problem. That is again, so 2 into m minus 3 plus 1 here. And already we have 2 square and 2 plus 1 will be available with us, something like this. Then if you evaluate, elaborate this one, so 2 cube, 2 into 2 square into 2, 2 cube plus into m minus 3 plus, so 2 square into 1, that is 4, 4 plus 2 plus 1, that is 4 plus 2 plus 1 here. So if you continue this particular problem for number of times, 2 power k, 2 power k into n minus k plus 2 power k minus 1. Okay, and this particular problem will be taken for n minus 1 disks, because n minus 1 disks, in the sense, obviously only one disk will be there with you. So if n minus 1 disks will be there with you, then 2 power n minus 1 into m of 1 plus 2 power n minus 1 minus 1. And already we have taken m minus 2, m of 1 will be, look at this, m of 1 will be equal to 1. So therefore 2 power n minus 1 into 1 equal to 2 power n minus 1 plus 2 power n minus 1 plus 1. And if you take common these two, so 2 into 2 power n minus 1. So 2 into 2 power n minus 1 minus 1. So this 2 into 2 power n minus 1 will be written as, so 2 power 1 into 2 power n minus 1. So 2 power 1, 2 power n minus 1 in the sense, 2 power, so n minus 1, so plus 1. N minus 1 plus 1 will be gets cancelled. So finally you could get 2 power n. 2 power n, of course this minus 1 is always there. So therefore the problem will be taken, so this amount of time. This amount of time. So therefore the problem will be solved. Just already the time is gets over. I'd like to discuss with you, the time is gets over here. So I'd like to take the attendance. Yeah, attendance has taken, and thank you for taking this one. So we'll continue by tomorrow.